Okay, Rich Van Tassel back with you again. So we just gave you the recap from last night's game. We're now going to break down Sunday's games. Now, for those of you who follow me on the YouTube channel, I usually give this to you late on Saturday. Unfortunately, today you're getting it on Friday. So the injury reports, while they're usually more set in stone on Saturday than they are on Friday, they are what they are. But we're going to give you what we have for now. So we're starting with the New York Jets, who are on the road to face the Miami Dolphins. Injury report for the Jets: Darrelle Revis, their cornerback is probable. Eric Decker, wide receiver, questionable. Chris Ivory, running back, probable. Jeff Cumberland, their tight end, is out. For the Miami Dolphins, Brandon Albert, their offensive tackle, is doubtful. Jonas Gray, running back, questionable. Jordan Cameron, tight end, questionable. And Deion Sims, their tight end, is out. Again, we've always discussed, for those of you who know on my YouTube channel who are just turning in for the first time, when I see probable, I expect that they're going to play. Questionable, obviously, means questionable. Now, with this game, the Jets are going to look to get back to it after a tough loss to Philadelphia where they really played a sloppy game. Um, Again, I'd like to see Geno Smith start over Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He makes way too many mistakes. I think the last game against the Eagles was a classic example of what he does wrong. He too often throws the ball up for grabs. He, turns the ball over, which he didn't do much of, but there are a lot of balls that should have been turned over against Philadelphia. And I think Geno Smith is the way to go. Now, their defense played actually very well last week, considering the positions they were put in. If you looked at the Eagles' stats, they were really not very good at all. So, for the Dolphins, they're 1-2. There were a lot of talk coming into this year. They're coming off They've lost a couple bad games this year. They lost one to Jacksonville, especially now, and they got really trounced by Buffalo last week. If Brandon Albert, who is doubtful, can't go, you're losing probably, in my regards at least, your best offensive lineman at the tackle position. Jonas Gray, the running back, is questionable. All the big injuries are very much on the side of not being able to go. Doubtful for Albert, Jonas Gray questionable, Jordan Cameron questionable, Deion Sims out. So you have your top tight end out, and your second tight end is questionable. That's a problem that Ryan Tannehill's going to lose weapons in the passing game. He's not looked sharp this entire year. Um, Really a tough game to pick. I'm not sure what Jets team is going to come out. We know how good their defense is on all three levels. Um, Darrelle Revis, I'm expecting him to go. When their secondary is right, they're very hard to play against. But with that being said, I think it means too much to Miami. Miami is the home team, and I would expect them to come out and get this game today, or excuse me, on Sunday. As far as the score, it's going to be low scoring because of the Jets defense and their offense. The Jets offense, while Miami's defense isn't great, I think is going to struggle and turn the ball over. I'm looking at a score of 24 to 14. The Miami Dolphins will win this game. Next up, we have Jacksonville, who's traveling to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The injury report: Jacksonville is listing no major injuries. For the Indianapolis Colts, Andrew Luck is actually listed as questionable. Trent Cole is listed as questionable. Josh Robinson, a running back. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sorry, Andrew Luck is the quarterback. Trent Cole is a linebacker. Josh Robinson, their running back, is probable. Dwayne Allen, their tight end, questionable. Tyler Varga, another running back, is questionable. And Darius Butler, a cornerback, is questionable. So some pretty serious injuries for the Indianapolis Colts. Most of those guys are key contributors to this team. Jacksonville really got pounded by New England last week. I expected them to lose that game. I did pick them to lose. I expected them to show a little more. Again, we've discussed Jacksonville, not at length, but at least enough. They're a team on the rise. Indianapolis has struggled this year. I expect Jacksonville to come out and look to really compete in this game. They have a chance to win the division game and really get themselves going. T.J. Yeldon has been solid this year at the running back position. I think Blake Bortles, the quarterback for Jacksonville, needs a bit more weapons, but as long as you have Yeldon running the ball, you're going to be all right. Now, with Indianapolis, as we've talked about, I'd like to see them hand the ball off to Frank Gore. He had a good game last week. That'll eliminate the turnovers. Andrew Luck is turning the ball over way too much this year. Indianapolis, essentially saved their season for as much as you can save your season in the third week of the year, last week, coming back to win that game. I expect them to keep rolling against Jacksonville. I really think Jacksonville is going to play well. Again, I thought they were going to play much better than they did against New England, and they didn't. But I think they're looking at this game as a real opportunity to show that they're improving, that they're on their way up. But Indianapolis, now that they've solved, their problems for the most part, they got the two losses out of the bad taste of their two losses out of their mouth. They're going to move on, and they're going to win this game. It should be not very high scoring, but high scoring nonetheless. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would take the over in this game. But because neither defense really impresses me, and especially if Trent Cole and Darius Butler cannot go for the Indianapolis Colts. I like this game to be 31-27. And Andrew Luck, who is questionable, may not go. Obviously, things would change if he does not go. I expect him to go, and I expect him to have a touchdown late to win this game. So that's Indianapolis 31, Jacksonville 27. Alright, next game. Very interesting game here. New York Giants are traveling to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. The Giants are 1-2. They got their first win of the season. Buffalo is 2-1. They've been playing well. They really handed it to Miami last week. Injuries for the Giants. Daniel Fells, tight end, questionable. Robert Ayers, their defensive end, is out. Victor Cruz, wide receiver, who has not played a game this season, is still out. He was expecting to play, so we'll see if anything changes, but I'm expecting he's not going to be able to go. That's today. He's listed on the injury report as out. For the Bills, Tyrod Taylor is probable, their quarterback. John Miller, guard, is out. Marquise Goodwin, their wide receiver, is out. Aaron Williams, their safety, is out. Sammy Watkins, their wide receiver, is out. LaShawn McCoy, their running back, is out. Dan Carpenter, their place kicker, is questionable. So you're in a bad way with your injuries when you have that many people out, especially at the skill position, and your kicker is coming up questionable. So Buffalo is a team I've liked. Tyrod Taylor's played very well this season. I've liked him from the start of the year, and he has really provided Buffalo with a big spark. Their defense is good on all three levels we talked about. Now Aaron Williams, their safety, being out is going to hurt them. Look for Stephon Gilmore, high quality cornerback. If for any of those who haven't paid attention to my YouTube channel, he's a guy who I put in that more second level underneath the Richard Shermans, the Patrick Petersons of the world. But he's going to look to go against Odell Beckham Jr., so that should be a fascinating matchup this game. For the Giants, they finally got their win last Thursday. They've got a bit more time to rest and get everything together for this game. Their offense has got to start running the ball. They picked it up a bit last Thursday night against the Redskins, but I'd like to see them do more of that. Rashad Jennings has got to be better. With Victor Cruz out still, the Giants aren't missing much in the sense that they've played a lot without Victor Cruz, so they know what they have to do. Obviously, you're losing a quality wide receiver, but they've been playing without him for some time, so they'll look to continue to move on and move forward. With all the injuries to Buffalo, you have Sammy Watkins, who's spectacular, and LaShawn McCoy, the running back. Watkins, the wide receiver, LaShawn McCoy, the running back, both out. Marquise Goodwin as well, the wide receiver, is out. I just don't see enough for Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor has been very good this season, but with all these injuries, it's not going to be enough. Eli Manning, I still don't know if he's worked out all the rust, but I think he really starts to put it to rest, the rust from the early part of the season in this game. You might see early in the game, but expect the Giants to get rolling in this game, despite how good Buffalo's defense is. I'm liking the New York Giants to go on the road, even up the record at 2-2, and win this game 27-20. All right, so we're going to take another quick break here, and then we'll come back and continue with the games for you. So we'll see you in just a little bit.